How do you continue to grow and appreciate this person, even though you know every single thing about them? Hey, so we found a new topic on dating threads. We're going to cover it and let you know what we think.
Dating in your 30s is realizing you don't want butterflies anymore. You want consistency and someone who texts home safe. Interesting.
Okay, so what do you think about this comment?
I think there's truth to it. I guess there's going to be people that still argue there's an in-between to be found, which I could agree with. So it reminds me of something that a friend of mine actually said. As you get older, you tend to want your relationship to be more like cooking pasta, where you want the water to get to the boiling point rather than starting it being boiling already.
One appreciates the fire and the other one appreciates the pasta.
It's more like, it was in French, just explaining why I can't put it properly. The slow process before you get the boiling water. That's what it is. It's like when you're young, you want something that's boiling straight away. You expect the water to be boiling straight away. When you get older, you understand there's a whole process of heating the water before it gets to the point of boiling.
But I hate waiting for the water to boil.
Yeah, that's another thing, but it needs to happen.
That's the comparison, right? You're willing to wait for it, whereas when you're younger, you're like, no, I'm not settling for waiting for my water to boil.
Exactly. It's like, I want the butterflies now. And if I don't get the butterflies now, then it's fucked.
For me, when I think of this, my mind immediately goes to what most women face when they're in their younger phase, that they want the bad boy. They're more and more willing to settle for someone who's paying the bills, someone who's stable, and someone who's responsible.
I'll keep on paying the bills. That's not what most women are wanting. Definitely, yeah, someone more stable, more emotionally stable. Someone who shows more attention, that's more consistent in being
reliable, there for you, this type of things. Yeah, 100%.
Why skip on the bills aspect?
Because that's not what most of women are expecting, even in their 30s. I would even say the more they move on in life, the more they're actually like, no, I make my own money, that's fine. I don't expect anything from you on that front.
No, but paying their bills. Like someone who's just showing some sort of responsibility for paying your bills.
Yeah.
Paying bills.
Yeah, being mature in your life, settled in your life, having your life together, yeah.
Okay. Did it ever happen to you where you realized the butterflies, that sort of passionate feeling, doesn't equal compatibility?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there's an exact point where it happened for you.
There was an exact relationship.
Oh, say that!
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because I've been in a proper narcissistic relationship. I don't want to undermine everyone saying they've been in a narcissistic relationship, but I know it's become a buzzword. There are some true narcissistic relationships. I've been in one of them. That really was the exact definition of super high, super low, constantly going like this. Yeah, the end of that relationship, when I could finally have time to breathe and think, and the relationship was over, I was like, okay, yeah, no, that's not what a healthy relationship is. And whether it's romantic relationship or just friendships, whatever, if it goes to those points, you've seen me ending some friendships before.
Yeah.
That takes you like this on a roller coaster, and I was like, I don't have the energy for that, and I don't want to give you that energy. You don't deserve that energy. I'm sorry, but no one does. I don't either.
You don't get to get that energy out of me, and I think that's wisdom, right? I've been down that road before. I know what it's going to cost me, and I'm not willing to go through it with you. The older you get, the more that your close friend circles begin to narrow down.
And by the way, I do think that it's also saving the energy to the other person. Of course, they're often the one creating that dynamic, but I'm sure it costs them as well. Thinking it's a waste of time for both of us, so I'm going to spare you that, and I'm going to spare myself that.
Not everyone would know that it's costing them energy. They may think, oh, they're just bringing good to your life. Usually it's one person that kicks the other out of the life.
It depends. I'm sure it depends. I don't want to generalize to every profile, but I think sometimes it's not conscious. I think there's some sickness there, and I don't think they consciously think they're sucking the life out of you. I drink it up! I don't think if they realize that they would do it consciously. I think they're extremely selfish. Don't blame yourself for what happened, because you're definitely not the one that planted that seed for that dynamic. But it takes two to tango. You've accepted that for as long as you did. They have ways to manipulate you to actually make you keep accepting that. But down the line, you're still the one somehow saying yes and keeping going with that tango, right? So it's always that balance, not blaming the victims at all, because it's extremely difficult to say no. I'm not saying it's easy, but yeah, that's something I said for myself as well, at least. When it ended, that whole dynamic, I was like, you're more wise from it, and you know that you need to say no. So that's why now I run away when some people like
she just starts
literally I run,
starts booking it.
Yeah, when some people start like showing signs, serious signs, not just like signs that I interpret, like showing serious signs of trying to get that energy, that sort of energy out of me.
Yeah.
Straight away, I'm like, no, I'm not even gonna humor that for even like as long as you think. Maybe I'll give you 1 chance, 2 chances, and then it's over.
I think most people are going to go through some sort of relationship or friendship that is their tipping point. They'll say like, okay, I'm not going to keep having this sort of profile. And I think that's a skill that we've actually talked about before, is about filtering people who come into your life, right? Being able to say no, or not having to accept every single person to be in your life is a good thing. It's a strength. You should be able to filter certain people from coming into your life. If they bring good energy, great. And if they don't, you need to kick them to the curb, so to speak. Like, it sounds like a harsh thing to say, but the more you go through life and the more wisdom you obtain, the more you're going to realize, it's actually the healthy thing to do for you. So what is consistency? What do these sort of moments look like to you?
I think consistency for me looks like very simple things from like everyday life. Kind of everything that goes against this dating game that a lot of people are trying to put out there. I think a lot of people are saying that consistency is boring, especially in early dating, because it's like very simple things that unfortunately a lot of people today think are like, they call it simping or whatever. Simping, yeah, that's what it is. Like, because you're just like showing up, you're just there for the person, and like little simple things. But no, that's just being there, and that's just being consistent at showing your interest for the person. Not like playing the dating game, like, oh no, you should absolutely not show your interest like that much to the person. You should not message them too often. You should like show that you're busy and not actually tell them that you're available too often. Like, you shouldn't show too much emotional availability. Well, I think it's the opposite. I think actually there's something very attractive that gives that feeling of safety, emotional safety, when someone does show you very early on they're available for you, that they can message you and prioritize you. All these little things add up, and I think show consistency.
It's funny that you mentioned simping, or back in my day, we called it whipped. And
it's a bad thing, right?
Yeah, it's a bad thing. Call it what you want, but there is a negative stigma around the sense of being loyal or faithful in a partnership. I guess because I grew up in a Jamaican household, consistency, for some reason, it's going home to a nice warm cooked meal, which
I don't cook.
Y'all better can't cook. Ticket you pay your pretty look. You want to live a restaurant and come done man bang book.
But that's my overall feeling of peace. Like, that's just, to me, that feels like home. Transparency, like being able to know where she is. That might have been something that sounds like quite stalkerish from a young age, but it's actually nice knowing where you are. And I don't even second question myself to let you know where I'm at, because it doesn't just cause anxiety for you. It causes anxiety for, other family members that don't really know where I'm at right now. So they like me to check in, just be like, hey, how are things going? You healthy? You doing all right? Are you alive? So
yeah, this consistency goes with emotional safety, like you said, peace of mind. And back to what you said about the messaging, letting the person know and stuff, it's kind of maturing on the idea that the person, what you're doing and stuff, is not in a stalkish way. When you've reached that point of maturity in your relationship, you understand that it's not like, they necessarily want to make sure that I'm not cheating or that I'm not doing that, but it's also that I'm safe. We live in a spot where the traffic is really bad. It's actually quite dangerous every time you go out driving. Just knowing that the person made it, to the final destination safe and sound, basically putting yourself in your partner's shoes and understanding like they're not after you to make you feel imprisoned. You want to spare them the anxiety of like worrying for you. Yeah, just reassure them that everything's okay, that you're safe. Putting yourself in their shoes, being mature enough to think like, yeah, that's just going to spare them some feeling, and it takes me 2 minutes.
I know some people who don't text each other for like days, and me personally, that's not my thing. It feels a bit off. I start to question why I'm actually in this quote-unquote relationship with the person. As long as you are on the same page with that person, like whatever comfort that they are willing to deal with, like hey, just let me know how you're doing every other day. Great. Some people want to know how you're doing every other 3 hours, 4 hours. And if you're not willing to tolerate that, then you're not compatible. It's as simple as that sometimes. It just takes a conversation.
Would you say that like these little check-ins like more intimate, more powerful than big gestures in relationships?
I'm not a big gesture kind of guy. Like I don't care so much if you take me out to dinner. I mean, I like to take you out. I really like it. I like taking you out for dinner. I like doing things that are sort of spontaneous, out of the ordinary, being able to take you somewhere nice, dress up and stuff, go on a proper date. Simpler is better. Usually it's like, I'm more of a homebody, right? So I guess it doesn't necessarily apply to me so much.
Well, I remember a date where I brought you to a rooftop and you looked pretty impressed.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was true. Yeah, I guess I like my spots,
You don't expect it. I would say that you don't expect it.
Yeah,
but if it comes your way, you're still happy and excited about it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it when it happens. And I think that brings up a not too off topic, but complacency. I would say that's where the home safe is probably a negative thing, because there's the idea of stability, the idea of home safe goes hand in hand with routine. And routine, in my opinion, brings upon complacency.
Yes.
And complacency is the enemy of spontaneous dating, excitement,
Of anything, to be honest.
Yeah, of anything.
Any relationship, anything in life. In your health, it's going to ruin it.
You just start to neglect it. You should keep it in check. That's where the difficulty in relationships starts to come about, because you're with the same partner day in, day out, and you need to find ways to keep things exciting, keep your love for one another. How do you continue to grow and appreciate this person, even though you know every single thing about them? That's the tricky part about the consistency. And I think most people would probably agree with that. I mean, what do you think about that?
Great point, actually, because it raises the overall issue and confusion, I would say, that people have, that if you're kind or if you're caring, if you're consistent with a person, it means that it's going to get boring because you're going to get complacent. And I guess in a lot of scenarios it may happen, which is probably why there's this association between those things. So I think it's a great reminder that you're giving, that one doesn't equal the other. You can actually keep yourself, you should actually keep yourself in check. Still be that person that's like consistent for someone, that's showing up, that is consistently kind and caring, and yet it can still be exciting. Like we said, it's not even just for the relationship. It's like you should keep yourself in check no matter what. So
do you think over time we are craving more consistency in our relationships, or are we just done with that unnecessary drama, BS, things that come along with fiery relationships?
That's interesting. In my experience, I would say probably option 2. I think we get tired. It's usually more like a forced wisdom. It's not something that you learn like from, it's nicer this way, it's nicer this way. It's like you get tired of the BS. Like you actually get tired, physically tired. I'll say this, it's like I think there's always a little part in you that sometimes little things that remain in your brain where you're like, the days where like I did things on a whim. But very quickly you have kind of your reason coming back to you and you're like, no, it's so compensated like tenfold by the peace of mind, by the fact that everything's healthy, by, everything else that far outweighs those little bit of like kind of highs from the roller coaster that was like this tiny percentage of the whole mess that came with it, that you're like, no.
It sounds to me like it's the lesser of two evils. You wish that you could have that kind of exciting roller coaster, but in terms of the excitement, not the drama.
Yeah.
The exciting factor is coming through forms of drama, BS, toxicity. Excitement, I think, could be taught in a healthy manner.
Yep.
Like spontaneous trips, dates. It's something you have to sort of figure out with your partner. I can't give you, all these coaches out there, they're giving like, ABC lists, but it's something that you learn as you go with your partner. So
you brought something that really pinned what I was trying to explain. I think maturing is understanding that this specific type of excitement comes from the contrast with the extreme lows. They only exist because you have to go through extreme lows to get back up and have those peak excitements.
Yeah.
And so one doesn't exist without the other, and that you so don't want to go through those lows to, it's like drugs. That's why they compare it to drugs. That's what it is. It's like you experience those crazy psychedelic thingy, and then when I'm not talking about me, by the way, I'm just like telling what people say about it. You experience those crazy highs, and then you go down. That's what they say about addicts. That's why they get addicts, right? Because they go back down, and then they're like, but I miss this high thingy. And they don't understand that actually that's because of that crashing and that low that you get excited about the highs. If that makes sense.
You're basically snorting the drama that happens in your relationship. As you get older, you're like, the good old days, the good times, right? And those days are done, but they don't have to be done. Who said they got to be done? You're going to have lows no matter what, but you don't have to experience those highs through crazy shit.
Exactly.
All right, so we're just going to take a look at some comments and let you know what we think. All right.
That's interesting. Sorry, can I read the first one? So the first comment says, I think butterflies still matter. And that's the thing. It's I don't think we're saying that butterflies don't matter. We're just saying that, I guess back to my analogy from the start, it takes time to get the butterflies as opposed to having them first, not for the right reasons. When you have butterflies before you even get to know the person, that's not necessarily a great sign. There's this chemistry there, but do you have butterflies because that person's been showing up for you? Do you have butterflies because you grew to love that person? Do you have butterflies for the right reasons, or would you rather build those butterflies, just have them over time? Butterflies still matter, but I'd rather have butterflies for you now after years.
Part of gaining that wisdom over time, you start to prioritize the home safe lifestyle more. You just prioritize the comfort, the safety, the reliability, everything around it. You tend to just prioritize more. So the butterflies still matter, but it's not necessarily saying you won't have butterflies for people who bring security into your life. You don't have to compromise on that, right? Some people do, but it doesn't mean you have to. So, all right, the real glow up in dating is when "did you get home safe" hits harder than "you are so beautiful." It's not intensity anymore. It's genuine care.
Feels like that was written by ChatGPT. I don't think it is, but it's not intensity anymore. It's genuine care. That feels that's what ChatGPT could say.
It's a bit kind of hallmarky. Exactly. Consistency, good communication, and honesty. Yep.
What is it? Squeeze me.
Wait, where? Oh.
Squeeze me. Some of us do like the butterfly feeling too, but agreed. Well, there you go. Yeah.
Same thing from before, right?
Yeah.
And I barely even want that. I think being left alone is the most appealing thing at this point.
What does it say? I feel like what?
And I barely even want that in terms of the home safe. They're saying they prefer just not to have a relationship. They're just lone wolf it. I think you can have that mentality. In my opinion, it's probably more of a temporary thing. You'll have it up until you don't have it anymore.
We go through phases, definitely. There's times where you just I could just go home and have my peace and stuff. I think there are people that genuinely feel so happy being alone, dating people, but actually going back home alone and having their alone space and stuff. I think some people are really genuinely happier with that their entire life. That's fine. The way this is phrased though, it feels a bit like it's someone that went through a not so happy relationship and it's kind of no, I want to be left alone. They don't say just being alone or whatever. They're being left alone. It's kind of
I prefer nothing. What kind of meal do I prefer? Nothing. So, too late to realize that. If you're in your 60s or 70s.
How old is this guy? He looks like 30 something. Why would you say it's too late?
Well, everyone thinks they're old, right?
That's crazy.
Everyone thinks it's too late for them.
That is, sometimes I feel like I'm abnormal because I'm literally in my mid-30s and I feel like I'm still young for the next 20 years. I feel the same as in my mid-20s. What world do you call me old? No. Anyway, yeah.
Only abnormal people still date in their 30s. Normal people meet their significant other in high school or college at the latest. After that, it doesn't feel the same. It feels fake, performative.
and no deep trust.
And bonding will ever be developed.
What? No bonding will ever be developed. Does this guy live on the same planet that we live on?
No one liked this comment, by the way.
Yeah.
There's like one
Why?
comment.
I wonder. It's crazy. This is a crazy thing. Like, if you are under 30, to any type of comments that uses "it will never be like that," "it could never be like that," "this is not the way it is," "it never happens this way," like, don't take seriously someone that thinks, and how old is this guy? I don't even know, but I would bet he's like 30 something. Don't trust anyone that thinks they have all the knowledge in the world, that speaks generalities about the whole world, like there's only one pattern. Please, there's nothing to be taken seriously in that type of comments.
I'm trying not to judge right away, but it's abnormal to date in their 30s. And it's like, okay, so high school and college, when you least know yourself, when you're really starting to discover what it is that you want to see in your partner, what it is that you want out of a relationship, not good advice. Like, have a little bit of cautiousness about posting some things.
Yeah, because it's like, that's not even saying, like, I know some people actually that are, how do you say, high school sweethearts. And they're still together, like, fantastic, great.
They tend not to work.
Yeah, and statistically speaking, for sure, the majority will not work, but even, it's not saying that those for whom it worked, like, good for them.
Good for them, yeah.
But it's like, saying anything outside of a tiny minority of people is abnormal, like trying to make people feel bad if they don't fall into that tiny as minority is crazy. It's crazy.
I like the response to this. It's been confirmed. I'm abnormal. Yeah. And I think that's going to be most people's response. They're going to be like, okay, I'm 30, I'm 35, 36, I'm still dating. Like, I still haven't found that person in my life yet. And it's like...
This is ridiculous.
On that note, I think we can wrap things up here. Wanted to thank you guys for staying this late, and appreciate you. Comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what specific threads you want us to go and react to. We'll send it to us in the comments, and we'll go check it out. Yeah. Take care. See ya.
Cheers.